in the MTC, all the other missionaries, they were so excited. They had their flights planned. They were going to board the airplane. And when it came time for the Salt Lake City, Utah mission to leave the MTC, we had bus plans instead of airplane plans. So that was another thing that was a little humbling, which is a good thing, right? But it's hard. They're going to fly on an airplane and I'm going on a bus, a 2-hour bus ride to my mission from the Provo, Utah MTC. And I remember that morning they had us wake up at 4 in the morning or something like that, something really early. And we're like, why do we need to wake up that early for a bus ride? But, obedience is the first law of heaven. So you're just obedient. And we went and they dropped us off at a church, I believe, where the mission office is. And our mission president had a breakfast there for us. And so we had a nice cinnamon rolls and pancakes and I forget what else. And it was a little bit surreal, I think. And then at some point, the mission president went into his office and interviewed each one of us. And that was early on. And then he may have had like a little devotional with all of us. And then he called us back in and gave us our companions. And mine was a Tongan companion, Elder Tui Kolovatu from Tonga. And I had never talked to a Tongan person before ever in my life. So this guy who is this? He's a big, beefy, strong guy. And I didn't know how to react, really, but off we go. We had a mission car. And my first area, we were in the Rose Parks area of Utah, which is considered a poor area. And that was an awesome first area. And I remember that night, my companion he showed me the investigator board that we had in our area. And then he said, okay, go in the other room, you pray, and you tell me how many baptisms we'll have in the next 6 weeks. And I'll pray and do the same thing. And I was like, I have no idea, honestly, no idea. Okay. So I pray, and I got a number, like an image in my mind of an 8. And I go, well, I hope he got the same thing. And yeah, he did. It was incredible, miraculous, amazing. We both prayed and we both received an answer. 8 investigators will be baptized in the next 6 weeks. And so we went to work, and we had a great 6 weeks together, Elder Tui Kolovatu and I. And we ended up baptizing 9 people that first 6 weeks in Rose Parks, which is probably one of the best baptizing areas in the Salt Lake City mission when I was there, because the people are so humble, They don't have a whole lot, and they're receptive to the gospel. That was November and December is when I was there in Rose Parks. And it was the first transfer. It was awesome. Elder Tui Kolovatu was a great example for me. He was a hard worker. He didn't talk a lot, but he went and worked. And he showed me to be an obedient missionary, to follow the mission rules. We always went to bed at 10:30 at night. We always woke up at 6:28 because our mission president told us, you're going to wake up earlier than the normal missionaries wake up at. And what else do I remember of my first transfer with Elder Tui Kolovatu? Oh, I remember the first week was Thanksgiving. And so I was with Elder Tui Kolovatu, and he's a Polynesian, and Polynesians are known for maybe eating, a little bit. And he had set up 2 or 3 Thanksgiving dinners. And so as a missionary, you're expected to eat. These people make food and they want to see their missionaries eat. And so I just remember eating a lot of food on Thanksgiving. And one of the families was a Polynesian family, the Wolfgrams, which is a pretty well-known Polynesian family in the Salt Lake City area. And I had raw fish and octopus and some other Polynesian foods that I wouldn't have expected to eat. But in Salt Lake City, there's a good amount of international people, a good amount of Polynesian people. And when the Polynesians see you, they want to take care of their elders and their sisters. They'll give you money. And if you say no, they'll be offended. So, like, you're supposed to take the Polynesians' money. They're so giving. And those are some of the things I remember about my first transfer, the Elder Tui Kolovatu. It was the night that we drove to our area. So that first day that I'm in the mission, he said, we're teaching an investigator, and we're going to teach the word of wisdom, and you're going to commit her to not smoke anymore. And as a new missionary, I'm like, oh, okay, Elder Tui Kolovatu, I'll do it. And we go into this really small, very tiny basement apartment. And I remember being really nervous and just praying a whole lot to get help to do a good commitment for the word of wisdom, for not smoking. I don't remember much about the lesson, but we did it. We committed this investigator, and everything was okay. The first lesson went great, and if you trust in God, it will all work out.